Hello, everybody. This is Mike here, and you're listening to the All Metal Mode podcast. So, tonight's guest is Dustin Ybarra. I meant to ask him how to say it. I hope I didn't butcher it too bad. But before we get to that, if you want the best American-made digging tools available, check out PredatorTools.com. All their tools are made with American steel, and each is heat-treated individually by George Lesh himself. Check out PredatorTools.com or call Pam at 856-455-3790. Tell them Mike Hare sent you from the All Metal Mode podcast. Don't forget to check out All Metal Mode for articles, the forum, all that good happy stuff. Working on a few articles. I don't know when I put my last article out there, but it's been really busy. We'd love for you to join the forum and jump in there, ask questions, talk, metal detecting. It's going really good. Not a lot of people yet, but there's some really good conversations going on. So that's a huge plus. And Dirt Digest magazine, don't forget to check it out. There were some really good articles in this month's issue. That's a free online magazine, dirtdigestmagazine.com. Check it out. It gets published new issue at the first of every month. So yeah, check that out. Monday night's guest. Actually, I'm going to be running the show Monday night for the next few weeks. The ladies are both off. I'm not quite sure why. I've been too busy to ask, but they sent me out a message they couldn't do the show. Monday, we're going to have Tom Dunn on the show. Tom Dunn, if you remember right, he found that cache of really old coins in Ohio. We probably had him on, I'd say, a year and a half ago. Great guy. He's a friend of mine. We've become good friends since then. And he's owned a lot of different detectors, so we're going to talk metal detectors Monday night with him. So come join us Monday night, regular time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And welcome all the show. We got some people in chat. Welcome to the show, guys. So let's bring on our guest, Dustin Ybarra. Gosh, I hope I'm not just butchering that, buddy.
No, man, not at all. It's a Mexican last name. That's why. It's actually like Ybarra. Like I can't even pronounce it right. So don't trip out too hard. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So one thing I didn't get to mention yet, you're a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, I was before the pandemic. Yeah, that's
right. Now,
that's not really happening too
now
much.
Now you're
anymore.
Kind of a beach bum, I'm taking in, I'm guessing?
Pretty much, yeah. I'll do a Zoom show every now and again. I got one tonight, but
cool.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same, you know?
Mm-hmm. I bet. No, I bet not. Probably hard to do a show with a mask on, I would assume. A bit difficult.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
So. Any word on when stuff's going to open back up? Or, I mean, you getting any word on anything? Or
I don't know, man. That's what kind of like they started, but then they closed again. And it's like the shows, you can't really pack them out anymore, you know? You've got to have like people have got to be spaced out. So it's a whole different thing. But I'm glad I've got metal detecting.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, and how long you been metal detecting? I know you're new at it, but seems like you're getting out a lot.
I'm new. I'm less than a year, and you know, like I said before, I don't have a ton to do, so I'm like, I just go out and I try to hit the beach a good amount, you know. Yeah. And then I started just recording them, and I had some friends out to go. I bought 2. They're really cheap metal detectors, but it's just fun to go out with someone and like. And it's like socially distant. It's outside. No one's gonna trip out on you or anything.
Right. It's a great way to, for an introvert like me, it's a great hobby because I can just kind of go out in the woods or something and be left alone. So like, somebody was asking me yesterday, like, I haven't talked to him in a while. Like, oh, how's the pandemic affected you? And I'm like, it really hasn't. I'm a work from home guy and with the kids and like, I can leave the house this week or not. Either way, I'm cool, and So
You got to
really,
pretend like it's affecting you to make them feel better.
right,
Like, oh man, I've gained 15 pounds. Like, oh yeah, I gained it before.
right,
I can't believe
yeah,
I'm day drinking. Ah, yeah,
right,
me either.
right. Oh yeah, day
This is
drinking. That's all
crazy.
new. I never did that before. Yeah,
I
as
haven't.
I'm drinking.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's cool. But no, I do feel bad because there are people like losing their minds and from just like I understand being out of work and all that. I get that, but like it cracks me up the people that like who are working from home and it really hasn't affected financially, but it's like, oh, I haven't seen anybody in weeks, and I'm like, oh yeah, me neither. Like I do
Dude.
feel bad because I'm just an
Yeah.
introvert. I'm like perfectly fine not seeing
I
people and stuff. So
see. I've got to like see people. That's what's tough. And dude, I've been doing stand up since I was like 17. I've been doing it like 16 years, and it's not. I haven't. This is without a doubt the longest I've been without going on stage. But before that, it was like I would go up like at least once a week. Maybe the most I had not gone up was possibly 3 weeks. But it was like it's a weird change, not getting to go up.
I bet, yeah, I bet that's really hard. So, I mean, not to be too personal, but I mean, like, how are you surviving?
Oh, I did like off of residual checks and stuff, like from the
Okay.
movies, and I've like saved my money pretty good. I've been semi responsible.
Semi-respect. I didn't
Yeah, I
know
haven't like
stand-up comedians could do that.
yeah, it takes work. It takes a lot of a lot of self work, but I hear
That's
it's
funny.
possible.
Hey,
Getting there.
there's another comedian. I bet you've heard of him. I don't know. He's actually in Ohio. I don't know if he does anymore, but Drew Hastings was a big detectorist.
No way, really?
Yeah, yeah. He used to detect in Ohio and stuff, and had a detector. I actually years ago helped him on some questions he had and stuff about detectors and that kind of
Oh
stuff. And
wow. Yeah, he was on. Was he on the Bob and Tom show?
quite a bit, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I might have met him. I did at Ohio clubs, Go Bananas, and where I where else did I? That's all I can remember right now. Somewhere in Cleveland. Can't
I'm
remember.
not sure, but I think he's done movies and all kinds. He was a pretty big deal from what I recall. But I mean, I know he was. Yeah, he was on the Bob and Tom show quite a bit and stuff. But yeah, he detects as well, and I thought
Well,
that
it's
was pretty
I
cool.
could dude, I could see that people like comics detecting because whenever it for me it like helps with stress and it's a hobby and it really helps out my life. Like
Right?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't like being having idle hands. A metal detector's got to be in there.
Yeah, I got to tell. I don't know if you're in chat. I don't know if you did that, but we have Adam Sellers in, and Adam, we wrote an article about him, and we helped Dirt Digest magazine helped raise money to get him a track chair. Adam is,
Really?
I want to, God, I don't want to say, I don't know if he's quadriplegic. I forget. He was in a bad accident when he was younger. But Adam, like, dude, I don't want to. I hope this doesn't bother him, but I didn't. I reached out to him about doing an article, and I didn't know how to approach it or what to say because it was pretty neat that he metal detected from a wheelchair, and you don't know like how somebody will take something but. To tell you what kind of guy he is, he just said in the chat, he just said, "Hey, Mike, if I tried comedy, could I be a can't stand up comic?" Yeah, so he's got just a great sense of humor, and he's a wonderful guy, man.
Ah,
I
that's a
like
great
Adam.
joke.
Right?
That is hilarious.
Yeah, but we got Dirt Digest got him a track chair, and now he can go hunt and he can go metal detecting out in the fields and through the creeks and all that, man. And I'll be honest with you, I got it started by telling the guys at Dirt Digest, I'm the editor of Dirt Digest, and the owners, Mike and Craig, I talked to them, and they were like all on board, and they just took over, and I didn't. I mean, just the whole metal detecting community just came together, and like
That is so
sometimes
fun.
people will say, "Oh, Mike, that's great what you did," and it's like I didn't do anything. I literally didn't. I mean, if anybody gets the credit, it should be Mike and Craig, who really reached out to everybody and all the different groups and all. I mean, they just took over, man. But I'm proud that they were able to do that. It's really
Yeah,
cool, and I
that
know
is
it
really cool.
for sure. But he'd have to be a not stand up comic. And Bill said Adam would have the audience rolling. Bill is one of our regulars in chat, and that guy should be a stand-up comedian, man. He just every show he's got me laughing with his comments and stuff. But he's funny as can be. Funny as can be. So you've been beach hunting, and I know you met Joanna, who is on our team and does most of our behind the scenes stuff. What was it like metal detecting with Joanna, and was she able to help you out?
Yeah, it was awesome. Because she was the first metal detectorist that I met. I didn't know anyone in this field, and I was just kind of out there. I was taking pictures, putting them on Instagram. I was just messing around, like I said before, just doing something that was just like putting stuff on YouTube to fill time. And she commented on one of my videos on why, because as you know, I have like the Bounty Hunter Tracker 4, and it's not that great. And I kept going near the water, and it was like, I guess the water was making it go off, and I just was like, oh my God, there's treasure everywhere here. I wasted a lot of time. But she commented like, hey, this detector is gonna do that. So going out with her, I learned like a ton of stuff. Like just simple things that I didn't know. I like the whole different, and I want to ask you about this, the whole like price range of metal detectors. It just keeps going up, right? And I guess I've got like the worst the like Kmart metal detector.
Right.
I was very self-conscious.
Oh no, man, you got to start somewhere. I mean, most of us started, a lot of us especially that started years ago, we started with bounty hunters. We did, we didn't know about all the other big name brands and stuff. You had to go to one of the little dealers that maybe there were 2 or 3 in your state. So I started off with a bounty hunter. I hated it, and I'm so glad I moved on and found other, the more bigger brands and stuff, more well known.
Why'd you hate it?
Oh, dude, it just, I mean, it was like a toy compared to what's out there now, or what was, there. So, yeah.
When you went from the bad one to the good one, could you like automatically feel the difference?
Well, so kind of what happened to me was I went from that to one that was another cheap one, like a more, it was a well-known brand, but like one of their low-end detectors, and it was really good. But I was more into, I wanted to find deep relics and stuff. I needed to do more. And I went into one that was really popular and well-known that I hated. I hated that detector. And I just thought that stuff wasn't there and I wasn't finding it, or just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then I got into something that just clicked with me and did everything I wanted. And that's really, I've been detecting 25 years. It's probably...
Oh, wow.
More like hardcore detecting, probably a little less than 20, because it took me a long time to really figure out, but that's pretty much, that's
25 years. That is wild. That is like, that's like, you probably don't even need a metal detector anymore. You could just go out there and just
it tells you how old I am. That's what it does. It tells you how old I am.
You've seen the detectors come and go.
Yeah, a lot of them. And I've seen some really great things happen, in the metal detecting community. And I think right now, no, I don't think within my 25 years, I think this is by far the best time we've seen as detectorists as far as competition for our business and stuff. There are some really good competition going on and some really good detectors out there. And prices are dropping and dropping. I don't want to name manufacturers, but the trend was really more expensive and more expensive. And this detector came out that was $2,500, And I felt like everything was moving that way. And then a company came out with this $550 detector that would hang with that $2,500 detector. And now everybody's got really good detectors under $1,000. You know, you can get,
dude,
you know,
yeah.
the Nocta Macro Simplex at $250 without wireless is a killer detector. Dude, that is up there with some of the higher end detectors. I mean, as far as performance and MindLab, the you know, like the Equinox series, dude, those are killer detectors that, you know, 10 years ago would have probably been $1,500 detectors.
How
And
much are they now? Like
I want to
what?
say the 800 you can get for around $800.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's awesome.
You
I've
know,
heard about that one, the Equinox. I think
mhm.
that's what I'm gonna get. Because I'm after this, I've been beach detecting, but I'm gonna go cross country. I'm about to take a trip, and I'm gonna hit up some spots.
Oh, that's
Go
cool.
camping, get
Oh
away
yeah,
from people,
there you
society,
go. Right there you go.
get
There you
ready
go.
for the apocalypse, all that.
Right. uh, yeah, that's what Joanna has. Now, I want to back up a little bit. You went to okay. I love Joanna, and don't tell her this, and let's hope she's not listening to this. But she, like her and I, like I'm 6'3", 300 pounds, and I'm just a man. I can't help it. And her and I butt heads, dude. She reminds me of a little Chihuahua that, like, growing up, my cousin when he was young, he had like a huge, big, mean German Shepherd,
Yeah.
and he still lived at home. And my aunt had this little nippy Chihuahua, and the big white mean German Shepherd didn't eat until the Chihuahua let him eat. And that's what Joanna reminds me of. So, like, were you out on the beach and she's like, lower your coil. Don't swing so far. You're lifting up on ends. Was she like all aggressive and yelling at you and stuff?
No, no,
What?
that's fun. It was a super pleasant experience.
That's funny.
Maybe you guys should go to couples therapy. I don't know.
Right, right. Maybe. Yeah. Sometimes,
That's
dude, I feel
wild.
like we're
Yeah, I
married,
get
and
it. Like,
her and my wife, like on top of it, like if that's not bad enough, those two will get like messaging each other about me. And I'm like, you ladies need to back off. Like, I'm already
the
married.
quarantine. The
Hmm.
quarantine. Just
Yeah,
everyone's got.
yeah. Oh, she's like a little dude. She's like a little mean Chihuahua sometimes. She scares me. Like there's times she's calling me and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to answer this. But then I'm afraid, you know, if I don't answer, she'll be texting Steph like, where's Mike? I need to talk to him. You know, and then Steph will be like, you better answer that call. I'm just kidding. I'm really just kidding. It's not like that. It's,
Ah, yeah, you guys have known each other forever.
but sometimes she is a little bit rough with me, and we do butt heads, and it's hilarious. But
That's great.
yeah, she's just like a mean little thing, dude. But she keeps things on track, and me, you know, I'm like, I mean, the best way to describe me is a fart in a skillet. I'm all over the place, and she's just like,
Oh, I gotta try that.
Mike, we gotta reel it in, buddy. You gotta stay focused on this, you know, work on this, and
Yeah. I
yeah.
hear you, but sometimes that's good in a relationship. Not just like a work relationship. I have
Oh
that
yeah,
because I'm like a dude. Like I'm like you, bro. I'm like scattered all over the place, man.
right,
I'm like I'll be like, I want to work on this and then this and then this and then just staying on metal detecting has actually been something that my girlfriend helps produce the show. So she's like, she helps you stay on track and get guests and everything. That's what I like is just hanging out with someone because it's like
right.
I like being alone sometimes, but also just it's cool to kick it, especially now with the quarantine because you can be outside of the beach.
Right. You know,
Usually, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it was just closed for the 4th of July weekend out here, the
Ah,
beaches. So I heard that's like one of the best times is after that to detect all these drunk people losing their watches.
right,
Would have
right.
been
And their
the
gold
greatest.
rings and all that.
Yeah. I go
Yeah.
to Malibu because I always picture like rich people. You know, in movies, whenever like a chick divorces a dude and she's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck," she's like, "Screw you," and then throws the
Right.
ring into the ocean. I'm like, I
Right.
gotta find these rings.
They're out here somewhere. I
They
know they
gotta
are.
be.
Oh, dude, I'm sure it happens. I have a friend. His wife did that. And I'm like, not at a beach. They were
Oh hell!
they were fighting all hillbilly style in their driveway, and she just
Oh.
took the ring off and chucked it. And
Ooh,
yeah,
that's like an episode of Cops right there.
yeah. So I
Hillbilly
get
driveway fights. Those are the best.
I get the call. Hey man, can I borrow your metal detector? And I'm like, what do you need? He's like, I'm not going to say her name, but she took off her wedding band and threw it. And I'm like, what happened? You got to tell me. I'll come over and find it, but I got to hear the story. And it was, dude, I love them, and they're not white trash, but it was a super white trash story, and I loved it. And
What do you think? Do you think the metal detector makes it more white trash or less white trash? Like going in there and like, like just him calling like, I gotta borrow your detector.
right.
That's just so
Right.
like
I don't know.
I screwed up, man.
And then I don't know. Like then I show up in overalls and tobacco spit running down my long beard. So yeah, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be calling anybody hillbilly, right? I mean,
I don't know. I miss Texas, dude. I live in LA. Everyone's skinny. I hate it. I live by a park where everyone exercises. I'm like, I moved here because I thought it would motivate me, but I just hate skinny
not
people
so
now.
much. Yeah, not so much. I get that. Speaking of your looks, I got to go there since you brought it up. Katie, who I'm pretty sure is crushing on you, her and her husband tune in. And she's pregnant, so I'm just saying.
That's awesome.
But she said something like anybody that looks like Jack Black, she's got to tune in. Now, I thought you looked like Jason Momoa to me.
I look like Fat Aquaman, and in the face, I can do Jack Black.
I mean, I'll be real honest. I'm not gay in any way, but when I saw a picture of you, I was like, I'd cuddle with that dude. I'd cuddle with him.
Wow, I appreciate that. I could use a cuddle during this quarantine.
You're right.
Maybe we could have a cuddle team.
Right. Oh, I'm down. Yeah. I was looking to see what Katie had to say, but I'm surprised she didn't come back. But Katie and Jeff are good people. They're new to the hobby, fairly new, and they're from Ohio, and I'm from Ohio, and I went back this past fall for a couple months, and I got to meet up with him. That was really cool. And I helped, I didn't help him, but at a site that I took him to, Jeff found his first large scent. So that was really cool. Katie found some really old buttons and stuff. I mean, wasn't the best hunt, but I was happy to see them find some first that they liked. So,
what, did you say large? What'd you say? He found a what?
A large scent, which is like a penny from the early 1800s.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, a large scent.
Bill said, be careful, Mike's cuddles involve Vaseline and cowboy boots. Bill, don't give me away, man. Don't give me away.
That's super LA right there.
Right. Oh, dude, I know somebody who lives in San Francisco, and they told me a story. I can't repeat it on air, but you'll have to, if you're interested sometime. And my mouth just fell open, dude. Like, this story was so out there and so wild, and
wild stuff happens out here. Yeah, I live right by Hollywood Boulevard too. It's a trip.
What's it like? Tell me, for somebody who's never been to California.
Oh God, dude, this area is not good right now. And this is a nice area, but just a block down, it's tents everywhere. A lot of drugs. A lot of helicopters. It's not quite RoboCop 1, but we're getting there slowly.
Oh, yikes. Well, the good thing about that, like, you could probably go metal detect the State House, and, like, they're too busy with crime and drugs and everything to even bother you.
Oh, that's hilarious. Like, during the riots, everyone was, and that happened here too.
Nice, nice.
In the past during this quarantine. But, yeah, we're all thinking about metal detecting. Other people are like knocking off places. We're like, we can find some coins. I bet.
Right. That's detectors for you. Yeah. While others are thinking about stealing, we're thinking about places to sneak in and detect, which we really don't. I'm only joking. We always ask permission. I'm not going to say it's never crossed my mind, though. Like, how cool would it be to metal detect the White House? Dude, I would love all the stuff that's happened there for a few hundred years. I mean, my God, the British burned it down in like 1814, I think. I'd
Dude, you're
love
right. That would be so cool to detect the White House.
Yeah, and when people were rioting and stuff around the White House, and dude, I'm like, ooh, if they abandon that, I might drive up there and detect that for a little bit. I mean,
How great would that? You find like Abraham Lincoln's like button or something. You find all these old treasures, LBJ's like revolvers,
right?
whatever. I don't know what he would have.
The news, yeah, right. I'm like in my head, I'm like, what's he going to say? Because I don't know what LBJ would have had. Pocket watch. Let's go with pocket watch. Maybe they had pocket watches back in. Yeah, I mean, can you see like the news camera set up and it's like the world's burning in the background, and then there's a fat guy in bibs metal detecting the White House front lawn, headphones on, minding my own business.
That's awesome. That should be a Pepsi commercial. Spread joy.
Yeah.
Look at that guy, just metal detecting. Nice.
You're right. Look at that weirdo. It's
Do
funny.
you feel that? Do you feel that everyone's like weird? Oh, what's this guy doing? I felt that. That's like a new thing to me, is being on the beach, because I'll be on stage. I'll get nervous for that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But metal detecting is like, I'm getting more used to it. But every time I pull it out of the trunk, I'm like, here we go. Let's do this.
It's funny you say that, because, when I first started, I was real weird about people seeing me and stuff. But you find some good things, and then you just don't care. Like, dude, I would, if I was allowed and there was a reason to be there, I would metal detect a stadium while people watched me. I don't care anymore. Like, I just don't care. Like, they can judge me, they can watch me, they can make comments, but like,
at the end of the day, you're going home with that Tom Landry gold.
Yeah, I don't care, dude. I mean, they can judge me all they want or laugh. I don't care. I mean, I plan on being the old guy with the black socks up to my knees and a big hat out on the beach, just checking out the ladies and trying to find something good. I don't care, but you'll get there like that. I mean, you really do. They're laughing at you, but like, I know a guy, I haven't talked to him in years, hunted the beaches. He was retired, and he would go walk a mile every morning and a mile back. And like, it was nothing.
It's a lot of calories.
That too. Ryan, I might go a quarter mile that down and quarter mile back, because that's far for a fat guy. But
I know, right? Like, come on,
too much. And he that year, and like what he cashed in on gold was almost $60,000. Like, if you found 60, in a year's time, if you found 60,
well, I gotta write this down. Hold up.
right, mile down, mile back. That's what you're not doing right.
$60,000. I wonder what detector he had.
He had a Mine Lab X-Cal, I believe, but I think, which is expensive, but I think what you've the Equinox, I think it would do it. A lot of guys have gone to the Equinox series, like Joanna's using. So,
will the bounty get metal? Will I get any good metal on that? The bounty hunter.
Well, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Will I get any good? Will I get any good metal on the bounty hunter? Can I find gold on that?
Yeah, it'll do that. It's just not going to get the depth and separation like a really good. You're not going to be able to go in the ocean with it and hunt with it. But dry sand, you can do it. And people lose stuff in the dry sand. Like I told you before the show, I've not done a lot of beach hunting. And actually, I've never done saltwater, which is something I really want to do. And I'm not far from the Gulf. And it's, well, we were going to do it this year.
Going down to Corpus Christi.
Yeah. Galveston is where we've talked about going, and we were going to do it this year, and then, COVID. But eventually I plan on doing that. But, I've got a friend who's done it for years, and she spends a lot of her time in the towel line. She's found a lot of gold and stuff in the towel line, but also when when she lived in Galveston, she watched the low tides. And if it was midnight, and that's when low tide was, she'd follow the tides out and go out and find gold and stuff. So,
could you do that with she had a good metal detector though, right?
yeah, she had one for that.
Okay.
I don't know if you could do that in a wet sand with the bounty hunter.
I don't think I could. Yeah, probably not.
Probably not, but it could probably get you down a little bit farther. But I think when you're ready and you get there, I think from everything I've heard and the people I talk to, I think the 800's a really good, or maybe even the 600. I know the 800's more popular, but the 600's less money. You need to talk to Joanna as well. Although I don't hear much about them, MineLab has a cheaper detector that's multi-frequency. It's water resistant. I don't think, it's not waterproof, but you could follow the tide out if it works good in the dry and the wet sand. It is multiple frequencies, so that might work. And I want to say those are like $400.
Okay, there's a lot of black sand out here too, and she was telling me that it gets picked up by the metal detector because I guess it's got metal in it. I don't know. I'm no scientist.
Yeah, the 600 or 800 would be an all-around really good detector. Like you said, a camping trip, you could use that there. It's not strictly for water, but people are having really good luck with it. Slick Jose in chat just said he might be moving to Surfside Beach, South Carolina, and we'll be looking forward to getting my Simplex on the beach. I mentioned Katie earlier, and Jeff and Katie took their Simplex out beach hunting, and I think they did pretty good. I think he was in dry sand. We'd have to talk to him a little bit more, but man, if you want to get really serious about it, I think you could easily pay for an 800 if you got the time and you've got the, I don't know if you've ever fished, but my dad, I grew up fishing and hunting, and we'll go with fishing. Dude,
fishing, hunting, and loving every day. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
Is that like a Sam Hunt song or something?
Yeah, and fishing. You could go down to the river and same spot and throw your cheap reel rod out and reel, and you might catch something. Dad had a boat. He studied it. We went to a lot of lakes, dude, and we caught some really big, nice fish. It's what you put into it, and it's the same thing. And what I love about metal detecting, if you compare it to other hobbies, first, what other hobby gives back like this? It's exercise. Even if you don't find anything, dude, I've done shows on PTSD and stuff and how it helps, people with PTSD, and I get really bad anxiety. It helps me with that and stuff. But dude,
me too. That's why, dude, it does, man. That's
right?
One of the, it helps with all that, a bunch of mental things for me. It helps with just a bunch of, you just feel good. Like you said, you're outside, you're exercising,
Getting that
kind of
sun.
But
yeah, right. I mean,
exercising, yeah.
It depends on what you put into it. I mean, you can go, to a park and hunt for half an hour and, walk around a small little area, but, walking a beach, you could get some good exercise in and, but if you spent the money and learned, and there's no doubt that you could find enough scrap gold to quickly pay for that. If you put the time, if you're going to put the time and the effort into it, Joanna has a lot going on and her child, and I know she doesn't get out as much as she probably wants. She's kind of like me. She gets out when she has to because she just can't. She needs a break from everything. That's kind of where we're at in our lives with kids and stuff. And I get to where I'm just like, I got to go. I got to get out and do some metal detecting. I got to listen to tones. And where it sounds like you've got some time on your hands. Dude, there's no reason why you couldn't be. I'll tell you a story. I knew a guy that years ago who was nicest guy you ever met, dirt poor, and because of kids. And just one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. But he couldn't afford a $1,200 detector he wanted, and he got into it. He bought a cheap detector. He went to all the playgrounds with his kids. Kids love going to playgrounds, so he'd metal detect in the wood chips and stuff. In a year's time, less than a year, a summer,
he shot himself.
No, that would be a horrible story. He
bought a cheap detector, and now he's dead, Dustin.
No.
So you take this knowledge.
No, that's horrible. He found
sounded like that's what you had that in your voice.
He found
everything. Yeah, he had kids, wife. Next thing you know, bought a cheap metal detector, cancer.
Yeah, no, that's horrible. He was at a park metal detecting, and somebody come by and shot him. No, I'm just kidding. He found enough scrap gold. He cashed in that summer and bought the detector he wanted. And that was just at playgrounds and stuff, man. I mean, he wanted to go out and find old coins and stuff like that, and that cheap one just wouldn't do it like a good one would. But he went out and found enough gold, scrap gold, to do that. And so it can be done, for sure. But I do think the detector you're using is really holding you back for where you're at.
Wow, dude, thanks. I hear you. I'm on. I look at it and I'm mad. It's standing right next to me. It's not like standing. It's in stand.
Well, you sound like I made you mad at it, like you're gonna go kick it over or something. Don't do that.
I do it. I'm throwing it away. It's in the garbage. Hey, hang on. Let me get my girlfriend. Can you take that down to the recycle bin, babe? Thanks. Yeah, that one too.
It'll still find stuff. You're just limiting yourself is all.
You're right. You're right, dude.
But that's okay, man.
Tonight,
you're
I think you inspired me to get a better one.
You're learning and stuff, and that's really important. Bill's got a good question. Do you plan on writing a comedy bit about metal detectors or any of that?
I don't know. Probably when stand up is allowed again. I would love to go out and
someday.
Definitely, because it's on my mind, and I think there's definitely like cool stuff around it. It's just interesting. It's just a very interesting thing that when you tell people, they're kind of automatically like into it. It's weird. Have you experienced that? Like, it's just It's almost like a conversation starter. Like, it's an interesting thing. So I'm sure I'll definitely bring it to stage at some point.
Like a lot of people, their first thought is, the old guy at the beach with the black socks up to his knees and a big old floppy hat, But there's so much more to it than that, and a lot of younger people have gotten into it, and it's really changed. But when you start talking about the finds and stuff, like I will still tell somebody I'm into metal detecting, and you can see like there's no interest. And then they always ask, "Oh, what have you found?" And you're like, "Oh, well, I found, these early coins from the early 1800s, and I found this," you start getting, and all of a sudden, man, they perk up and they're listening and they're really interested. And so I think that's really cool part of it. Is letting people know and kind of changing their opinion of it. But, there are some really funny stories that have come out of that I've heard of, and things that have happened to me metal detecting, and I'll share a few of them with you, and because they're relevant to what you just talked about. I've got a friend, haven't talked to him. I lost his number on one of my phones. He's not on Facebook. I don't know how to get a hold of him, but I'd hunt with him around Columbus, Ohio now and then. Great guy. And he's like an old, he's my age, but he was a Marine sniper. He's a badass. And he
Oh
goes
wow.
into the ghettos metal detecting. And I'm like, because nobody else will do it, but he'll go in there and he'll find old silver coins like you wouldn't believe, man.
Does he
And
do it in parks and stuff, or
yeah,
like?
parks and old schools and stuff in the ghetto, and like not a care in the world. And
Can you do old schools? Can you go to old schools?
it depends, but yeah, I mean, in most cities,
Okay.
well, it's not a problem. But I said, have you ever had any problems? And he laughed and he said, no. He said, but a funny story. He said, one time I was in the ghetto, and he said, this really big dude. He said, and he's a big guy, and he said, man, this guy looked like he just picked me up and twist me in half, kind of thing. And he said he's watching me, and he kind of circles back, and he's watching me, and he's at a school, and he's in the football field, and the guy come and sits on the bleachers, and is watching him, and he's like, man, I don't know if I just run or if I just ignore him or what I do here. I don't know what to do. He said, I'm freaking out, and said, finally the guy got up and walked over to him and handed him $20 and said, man, that's nice you're working, to find you some money, but here, go buy. This guy's got a $1,500 detector in his hands, and this guy thinks he's so hard up for money that he's searching for it in the ground, and and that's not the only time I've heard that story. I had a friend who was at a park, and the kids were playing around him and stuff and talking to him, and he was giving them coins as they were coming up and stuff. And the mom come over and brought him money for lunch. And again, he's got
Is hilarious.
Yeah, he's got $1,000 detector. He's like, ma'am, I'm just having fun digging up old coins and stuff. I can afford lunch. Are you sure?
Yeah, but I would just take it at least.
Right.
Yeah, come on, KFC ain't free, buddy.
Right. Go jump in his Cadillac and leave.
Yeah.
For this $20.
Totally.
Yeah, but things like that happen. I'll tell you one that I get sick of, and is people will come up and anything a lot of it's like, hey, I lost a gold ring. If you find that, it's mine. And they chuckle. They didn't really lose a gold ring. But my favorite one is it's kind of funny how they do this, but I couldn't tell you how many times people have come up and said, hey, we split everything you find, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I keep my trash in one side and my good stuff in it, and I will pull out a handful of trash and literally chase them. No, here's your half. Take, it's wadded up.
Take it.
Wadded up pop cans and used needles, and not really used needles, but
I found it. No, you find used.
Oh yeah,
needles.
you will. I don't put them in my pocket though. I'll go throw them in the trash and stuff.
That's what I love about metal detecting too, is you find out a lot about the area you're in. You're like, wow, people like to do heroin out of this beach, apparently.
Right.
Or just a lot of irresponsible diabetics, but probably heroin.
Maybe. I mean,
yeah, those are slim chances.
Yeah, like a diabetic club sitting around shooting up their insulin, talking, just throwing their needles out. It probably happens somewhere. You don't know.
Right, I guess, yeah.
One of the craziest things I've ever seen. I was at a school in a nice town, and dude, I'm finding needles left and right, and I'm like, yikes! And there's a guy walking down the sidewalk, maybe 20 yards from me, dude, and he looked shady. And all of a sudden, like, I think it was 3 cop cars come flying up. They jump out, they tackle him. This guy was walking. They pulled a machete out of the side of his pants. Was walking down. Yeah, had a machete, and he must have threatened somebody or done something, because I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So he must have threatened somebody earlier or something, or used it. I don't know, but I was like, dang, that's pretty wild. But yeah.
Oh man, you should sharpen. What if you were to sharpen your metal detector, like the edges of it? Is that possible? So in case something goes down, you can also use
your
it
shovel,
like an offensive weapon.
Oh, you're on the beach with a scoop. Yeah, our hand diggers.
I got that stupid scoop. Yeah.
Plastic. You need a metal one and sharpen that edge so you can shove it in their neck. Yeah. Yep, that'll work.
You know what I just ordered the other day off Amazon is the serrated hole, so I can do the dirt instead of just the beach. What are they, like a little shovel, but
Hand
it's
digger?
serrated on one side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, there you go. Yep.
I got
Uh,
that, and
yeah, that
yeah,
thing's like that
I'm
thing
gonna
will hurt
try
somebody.
that. I haven't done land detecting, like hardly any, like almost none. Like not land,
Really?
but dirt.
Yeah,
Not the same.
yeah. It's fun. I think the beaches are a great place to start because you can quickly sift and move on and get you really good at pinpointing and stuff and all that. Dude, I got another good story. I'm serious. Like if I knock on somebody's door to ask for permission on private property, I guarantee if it's like you take a mile square and I will knock on the craziest person in that mile square. That's the house that somehow I came to the conclusion I needed to metal detect. But my best one, I got permission from this guy. And he's like, yeah, you mind if I follow you around? I'm like, no, follow me around. That's cool. I'll give you what I find out of the yard. I don't care. Every time not every time, but like I think it was my third time I had stopped to check a signal. He ran into the back of me. I can feel this guy's breath on my neck and stuff. So I'm done.
Nice.
I'm just done, dude. It was creepy.
Yeah.
It was creeping
That's
me
sick.
out. But then before I could get out of there, I find myself on his porch because he wants to show me some coins and different things. And then I'm there over an hour as he's telling me how he was abducted by aliens, and they had put this.
Oh wow. Yep. That's like I gotta go, man.
They had,
That's
well,
I
like,
forgot my batteries.
yeah, and I'm
Sorry.
too nice. I'm just like, ooh, interesting. He had to run in the house and come out with this little sliver of metal he dug out of his arm and show it to me, and I'm just like, dude, this is crazy, man. So I'm real leery of knocking on doors. Like I have some
Oh
bad
hell
luck.
no, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
reading
that's
what
still
are they
too
talking
much.
about?
Like getting. I'll probably do. Did you like look at a map beforehand and like decide that that's the spot?
It was the worst part is it was in my neighborhood where I lived, and the guy knew where I lived because he was like a block and a half down. It was a really old house, and I left there, and that's one of the reasons I almost just ran from my. I driven my truck down because I had a bunch of equipment. I had a couple different detectors and stuff, and I almost just like I would have just ran for my truck, but I'm like, shit, this guy knows where I live, like I got to play this cool, like
Yeah, yeah. Oh
yeah,
wow.
he was different. I know I've got a friend who knocked on a door and they opened it up and there was a real bad stench coming out. He was pretty sure it was a meth house from what he'd heard what meth smells like cooking it.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some neat stuff, but no. So I don't know, man. Just to kind of wrap that up, I don't feel weird about metal detecting anywhere anymore. If people don't have the knowledge of what I'm doing or what it's about, I don't judge me. I don't care. It's fine. But no, it just doesn't bother me. I've metal detected up against a busy street. I don't care. But you'll get used to
Yeah.
that. Joanna had that problem too. And most people do, but she had said something like that, that sometimes she felt like people judged her and stuff. I'm like, so what? What if they do judge you? Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. It's a quick thing to get over to once you get into it. And the people they'll usually be like, "Oh man, what'd you find?" It's just fun stuff. They just see it and
Yeah.
they're happy. They're happy to see a metal detector. They're never like, "What the hell is this guy think he is?" I feel like that. Like they're cool.
Yeah. Most people are really cool, but I can't say I've ever had any issues. I know people. No, I don't know them. I've heard of, like, I know one guy. He was held up and they stole his detector and stuff. And
You're
things
kidding
like
me.
no,
Oh, that would suck so bad.
yeah.
he was held up like
Yeah, like gunpoint and took his metal detector and stuff. That was
oh shit, that's a smart criminal though. At least they're stealing something they can make money with exponentially.
You know, that guy could probably have gone to the pawn shop in like the next hour and got his detector back, because you know that's what happened.
Yeah, I always like to think of the good story. Maybe it saved that criminal's life. He went home and just got into detecting. He's like, you know what? I'm done robbing people. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna rob the ocean.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt it.
Nah,
it got hacked for some heroin. You can about imagine.
And then then he finds the needle with his new detector that he had to buy on Amazon.
Right. Oh, that's horrible. So what else, man? What have you had any good finds yet? Or I'm sure you found some coins and stuff.
Yeah, dude. You know what's weird? The very first day I went out to detect, I found this. I went to Malibu and I found this really cool it looks like one of those like hippie cross. It's one of those Egyptian crosses thing. It's an ankh, and it's got turquoise in the middle, and it was handcrafted. It was just really cool, and I was like, it looked like one of those things that like if you could hold it and like I don't know, like summon some pharaoh's spirit or something like that. It was, but I know it's not from that. It was probably just someone just lost their necklace, their trinket.
Probably, yeah.
But that was the coolest thing.
Jeff said it's also less awkward if you have a buddy to go with you. And Bill said, that's true. Most times I get approached when I'm alone. So.
Ooh, yeah. That's why I like that's why I like doing that thing too. I'll interview comics and just people I knew before the quarantine. And it's cool. I like that because, you do feel better when you got a buddy there.
Mm-hmm. Who's some of your favorite comics that you've interviewed and stuff?
I just started interviewing him. I interviewed my buddy who's at the Jason Ellis show. He's got the Sirius XM show. Oh, cool. Some of my favorite comics are. I really enjoy Bill Burr. He's hilarious. I started like Pablo Francisco. There's a ton of funny comics out there. I'm trying to think who's my favorite. I guess Bill Burr is really hilarious. He just cracks me up, man.
Yeah, he is funny, and he gets all worked up. He does.
Yeah, I got to work with him at the Comedy Magic Club one time, and it was really cool. I've worked with him in a few shows because in LA you do a bunch of little shows, or there's shows where it's like a bunch of comics that do short times, 8 to 12 minutes.
Right.
And he's always really cool. Nice.
One of my favorites, and probably one of my favorites because my wife, who's not really into watching anything or, nothing, she's not into she's not going to sit down and watch a stand-up show. But dude, that girl was in tears watching Bert Kreischer.
Oh, he's great. That's right. Yeah, he's great.
Dude,
oh my gosh, he's so funny. The machine bit.
Oh, that's one of my favorite bits ever. The machine bit. Yeah, that's hilarious. I like him. I grew up in the Dayton area, not far from Dave Chappelle, and it was kind of nothing to run into him. I've never spoke to him or anything, but I used to see him going in and out of the movie theaters and stuff and things like that. I thought he was funny. I feel like the last couple shows,
hilarious,
not quite as good, but still good. I love the bit he does about hey baby, when he's in when his limo driver took him to the hood, had to talk to his lady real quick or something, or buddy.
He's got, oh my God, he's got so many great bits. Yeah. He's so many great bits.
Mm-hmm. But where could, if somebody wanted to get to know more about your comedy, your metal detecting, can you give out all of your social media and everything?
Yeah, it's just my Instagram, Dustin Ybarra. It's with a Y Barra. Just my Instagram, anything on social media, I'm out there. I've got a few things. I've got a few animated things that'll be coming out in like September, and I'm just looking to do more metal detecting, man. Have some fun guests on. Just it's cool. I love it, dude.
That's awesome. What you got any questions? More questions? Metal detector? Anything you want to?
Well, I like that talking about the whole legal thing. That's one thing that trips me out a lot is like where I can go because I don't want to get messed with. But definitely, you can go to state parks, right? Those are completely legal.
Mm-hmm. Oh
And
no, not always. I don't know.
know that okay, because that's yeah. I think in California you might be able to. That it's just one of those things that every time I'm on the beach and I'm detecting, and I know it's cool there, but every time the patrol comes by, I'm like, oh man, is this guy gonna be like, you can't do that here? Where's your permit?
Yeah,
Have you ever been
some.
messed with like that by park ranger or something?
Mm, trying to think. Not really. I was metal detecting a park once where it was legal, and they literally came and the police kicked us out because a neighbor complained, even though I pointed out, hey, it's legal, and they still made us leave, which really pissed me off. And the guy I was with was real weird about it, or I would have gave him a piece of my mind. Because even though I told
Yeah.
them it's legal, you can look it up, they still wanted us to leave. And I feel like, that doesn't make any sense, but he
Yeah.
was concerned. I don't know if the police around there but yeah,
Yeah,
so
maybe he had a warrant or something. He's like, let's just go, man.
maybe, yeah, like,
I could
don't,
see that. Like, come on, please, man.
yeah, don't raise the stink, man. I got a warrant. Yeah. Wanted
Yeah.
in Kentucky for, playing with farm animals. Yeah.
That's legal there, though, so you're cool.
I've got
I
a,
think you just have to have a permit.
I'll tell you the funniest story, man. Speaking of farm animals, oh, not metal detector related, but I think as a comedian, you might get a kick out of it. So my
Mm.
stepbrother is one of those guys you gotta love, but he's just, I mean, he found alcohol in his life, and that's his love, that's his goal. Nice guy, but anyhow, he'd rode with me downtown Dayton, and he's drinking a beer. I mean, this guy always has a beer, and I'm okay with it because I'm driving. I'm completely sober. I let him have a beer in my car, my truck.
Mm.
And coming back, we're going through sobriety checkpoint, and I actually knew the cop really well who come up to my window, but he's playing it all cool, like he's being a cop. But he smiles at me real big and he goes, "Anybody drinking? Anybody want it or anything in here?" And I just pointed over at my stepbrother, who's a nervous wreck, because when you're an alcoholic, you've had some run in with the police. And I said, he's wanted in Kentucky for molesting farm animals. And I said it just straight faced as can be. The cop laughed. He said, "Go through." And my stepbrother's like, "What the heck, man?" Like, what were you thinking? I'm like, I've never even been arrested, so I don't care. I'm going to say some stupid stuff. Made the guy's night, The cop laughed his butt off. But, yeah, he wasn't in Kentucky
That's
for
great.
molesting farm animals.
I gotta use that one.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, but, okay, so I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got a lot going on, but if you have any more questions or anything you want to talk about or say, go for it. I mean, I'm not in a rush. I know you got a lot going on.
Yeah, I got that show later on, that Zoom show tonight. But just, I mean, I've learned so much from the. It's so funny. I've got this sheet of paper in front of me that I've been writing things down, just words random. Low tide, Slick Jose, gives back, PTSD. I write random words sometimes, but one of the things that makes sense though, the Mind Lab, the Equinox. I'm definitely gonna get this $800 detector, bro.
I think it's probably it'll definitely take you to the next level.
Yeah, just for the sake of peer pressure, just so I don't want to get made fun of, at least.
And learn it.
But also, it'll be a cool, it'll be cool to like just learn the different frequencies and everything. Because I hear that once you hear the frequency, can't you just like kind of know what it is?
You know what? I've used one briefly and not on the beaches, but one of the great things about that is you've got Joanna so close, and Joanna loves helping people much like I do. You know, she's a call away, and I'm sure she would help you. But it's so popular. You know, I could get you help. I could find somebody besides Joanna, and Joanna could too, but I'm saying there's so much help we could send your way for advice and stuff like that. And my advice My advice would be get it, read through the manual. I know that's hard to do. And
I hate reading.
Probably.
Can I TV show the manual? Can I Netflix the manual? Is that possible?
I mean, you might be able to find some YouTube videos showing beach settings.
I'll read the manual. I'll do it. I'll make myself. I'll have some self-discipline.
You won't even understand it. And then go out get 5 hours on it and start asking questions. Because then, you know, when somebody says, well, you navigate through here and you want to change this setting, you know, when you have 5 hours on it, you're going to understand when they're talking about tones and different things. I was a metal detector for a number of years, and if I had a customer that bought locally or would come to me, I would take them out and show them. But if not, what I would say, they would have sometimes they'd have a million questions before, and I'd be like, just hold your questions, get it out, read your manual, take it out and use it. And then they would answer so many of their own questions. But then when I started talking about, you know, a fluty tone or when it does this, and they've experienced it, so they know, and you'll learn a lot quicker if you start asking questions once you've used it. But I don't think it's a hard metal detector to learn. I think you'd learn it really quick, especially when you're talking about specific settings for a specific situation.
Yeah. So, awesome, man.
Sure. And you'll have to keep us updated. I'd love to get you back on. Dude, I've had so much
I would love to come back, man. Whenever. Literally whenever, just hit me up. You know me, I'm not doing anything.
Awesome. Me neither. Watching kids. You want to come watch kids with me? How bad do you miss
Texas? Yeah. We can metal detect, you know.
I got a 2-year-old demon that you'll, he's fun, let me tell you.
That's I know, and I'm with my girlfriend right now. That's one of those things that like crosses my mind sometimes, and then I hear that like 2-year-old demon, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, dude, they're fun. They are, but it's definitely a little different with a child, and it's a little hard to get out sometimes. But he's amazing. He is. He's really neat and stuff. But I mean, if you guys want me to send him to you for a couple weeks or months to kind of test out a kid, I'll pack him up and we'll get him sent out to you. Really, any of our listeners, Jeff and Katie. Katie's pregnant. Katie, if you want to know what it's like to have a baby, I'll pack him up and I'll ship him to you. Be more than happy to. He's a cute little demon nugget, though. I'll give him that.
That's fun.
But, yeah, man, we'll definitely get you back on. I've had a lot of fun doing this, and really looking forward to it. We'll get you a little more experience, and then we'll get you back on and go out and find a bunch of gold that you can brag about and stuff. And
sounds good, man.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up, and you can do your other show and have fun tonight. But Dustin, thank you so much, buddy. And
thank you.
And I like your show tonight. How would somebody catch that?
The link is actually on my Twitter, Dustin Ybarra. You search my name. Okay. I think it's the third post down. I retweeted it. It's a Zoom thing, and you got to message them so that you get the Zoom code, so we don't get like hacked and all that.
Oh, okay. I'm not on Twitter, so dang. I just followed you on Instagram though. But
I'll put it on my story on there. Too.
Oh, good deal. All right, Dustin,
awesome.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun with this, and everybody tune in Monday night. Again, I'll have Tom Dunn. We're going to be discussing metal detectors. He's had a lot of them, so it's just going to be a talk about metal detector night. So good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Dustin, have a wonderful night, and thank you, sir.
Cool. Take it easy.